Hello, beautiful people. Elisha here again. I had a couple people ask me about my spices video, and I told a friend, hi Jessica, that I would go ahead and make good on my promise. So here is an introductory of some of the spices I love and why, and a couple of herbs thrown in there too. But before I get started, do you know what a decoction is? A decoction. Let's find out. There are so many different ways to use seasonings and spices in your food, from seasoning blends to dry rubs to marinades. There's just a lot of versatility out there, and you know you can go anywhere from Sazon to slap your mama. Okay, so you have your basic seasonings and spices like your salt, your pepper. Some people will use seasoned salts. Some people use paprika, onion powder, garlic powder, or just fresh garlic and onion. So we have the basic staples, at least here in the United States. But with your staples, like your beans, legumes, starches, you know, your potatoes, your rice, etc., and meats if you eat them, then you can transport yourself around the world just by switching up a few spices. That's the exciting thing about it. Also, from a health perspective, you can eliminate your use of salts by switching up some spices. For example, you might want to use an herbal seasoning blend instead of salt to season soups, certain meats, and even starches like rice and definitely vegetable. Another alternative I would consider is this. You know, we love our hot sauce, but have you tried a little pinch of red curry paste to substitute it in some of your meals? It's fantastic. Look for it, try it out. Let me know how you like it. Another option would be jerk paste. I like Caribbean food, I like Asian spices, I like Indian food. So I like flavorful and I like heat, but more flavor than heat. So spices doesn't necessarily just mean spicy. So I wanted to make sure I point that out. But try some jerk paste if you like spicy, like a little bit in your pasta. It's incredible. Take my word for it. The latest seasoning addition that I've made recently is umami seasoning. And it's very popular in plant-based or vegan dishes because it is a mushroom-based powder and it helps to bring the fullness out. And they call umami the fifth flavor. So there's something that you can add to your list to try. Well, as you can see, the scene stealer showed up. Anyway, what is a decoction? It's tea. Okay, tea is a decoction. What a decoction does is extract the medicinal properties of a plant through boiling. See, all this time you've been making medicine and drinking medicine and you didn't know it. But that's originally how we began drinking tea. It is extremely easy to make your own tea blends at home. And I'm surprised more people aren't doing this. So today, I'm gonna show you how I make one of my favorite tea blends. I'm gonna make a full pot of tea. So in this case, I'm gonna use a teaspoon of each of the herbs and plants that I'll be drinking today. Also, each of these plants are known for more than just the properties that I'm stating. I'm just giving you the primary ones for consideration of time. First up, we've got peppermint, which is soothing to the digestive system, and it's got a great fresh minty taste. Next up is lavender, which is known for its relaxing effect and its very fragrant aroma. Next is chamomile, which is another relaxing plant, and I'm adding the whole flowers in here. There's one more calming plant that I like to add for its color and it's cozy, and that's rose. I also like to add licorice root as a sweetener, but licorice root is also an anti-inflammatory. And here's a funny story about licorice root. When we were growing up, we used to be able to go to neighborhood bookstores and even some candy stores, and they would sell us what was called chew sticks. Chew sticks are licorice root. There you go. At the last minute, I decided to add a little bit of elderberry because I like the flavor of it, and it's also an immune booster, so it's a win-win. Of course, you don't have to add this many different herbs and plants into your tea when you're making it. Mostly I was doing this for demonstration, but it really does make a really good blend. And it tastes delicious, so why not? I grew up knowing about particular plants as medicine, and that's what they've always been to me. So they've been my go-tos when, I or one of my loved ones has the sniffles or an upset stomach or something like that. And it was surprising for me to get older and learn that a lot of people do not know this. Whatever we refer to as weeds most of the time is a medicinal plant. You do have to have some sort of sense, and you do have to do your homework to find out whether or not a plant is toxic or poisonous, so don't just go experimenting with anything. I implore you to do your research. But I think there's one plant that gets a bad rap for no reason whatsoever, and that is dandelion. Yep, that little pesky weed with the yellow flower that everybody seems to not like, and I absolutely love them. Ask my mom, I used to pick dozens of them for her every spring, and every windowsill in the house would be full of jelly jars with dandelion in them. But anyway, the leaf and the root and the petals are all medicinal. Dandelion helps with digestion. That's one of the things it does. But once again, do your homework. I'm not saying to go out there and start picking flowers and plants and leaves off the side of the road or in your backyard, because you don't know what type of groundwater contamination you have. You don't know what type of chemical contamination you have. So use some discernment, get some information, buy from a trusted source, or grow your own. I mean, right there. If you have an option, do it. If you have a backyard, do it. If you have a space for a little planter, do it. If you have space in your home with a little window that gets some degree of sunlight, get some pots. Grow your own herbs. You can grow a lot of seasonal and spices like basil and thyme and rosemary. I've done it. You can grow microgreens in the house and add them to your salads. It's really not that hard. Anyway, these were my mediocre musings for today. I hope that I was able to add some value. I hope that I was able to answer some questions. If you have some more questions about any of the teas or any blends that I might recommend or suggest, let me know. I'd be happy to offer you some suggestions. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's tea time. Thank you for watching.